everyone. Okay, so now there's actually possibly a somebody. Welcome to the vlog. Here we are, Potato Land. I very much appreciate you tuning in. I got one new subscriber. Okay, so I haven't been following my social meds too much recently because it's not a recently thing, it's more of a habit, but because I plan on just cranking these out and over time acquiring new views and viewers and subscribers and stuff. But as of this week, I should acknowledge it. I got my first subscriber that I know about. So number 1.5 or number 1 3/4. I don't know. I don't know who my first subscriber is. So he shall be number 2. I think it's a boy's name. Don't mean to. Nope. We're not going to go down that road either. But thank you for tuning in, guys. Thanks for listening and a bunch more views and stuff. And it's just my lack of, I don't know how you say effort here, and I should apologize for it in the same sentence, for not checking on a regular basis whether I got hits or not on the YouTube channel. But I'm stoked about it. It's great news. We can all kind of, how do you say, sit around the campfire and celebrate. I'm celebrating currently with the last of this cigarette and I'm on my 3rd glass, I believe, of special sauce here. And I very much recommend staying hydrated. All this stuff is anti-hydration, so I may use it temporarily, but in the bigger, I don't know how you say that, spectrum of things, in the wider perspective, please drink your water. This is a recommendation for kids anybody after 28 years old. So, as I've said before, don't get thirsty. If it sounds like I'm drinking something, go to your water, whatever you're doing. Hello, welcome. Thanks for being here, guys. It's huge to me. It really is. I like to stay sort of even keeled on everything, but a new subscriber says I'm possibly doing something that's making somebody somewhere think about something. The impact you have on this world, and I'm trying to, on a daily basis, hopefully make the world a little bit, I don't know, just impact the world. It's not about making the world better. Frankly, it's really not. Meaning, it's more about making the world see my perspective on things, which is a little bit of a different perspective, but just because of the special or different perspective I have on things, coming from how I was, placed in my own different scenarios and came up with my own different, conclusion on things. But we're not going to talk about that too much. It's just that as a guy who meets different people, I'd like to get their perspective and then bounce it off of mine, bounce their perspective off of me, and then bounce my perspective off of them. That sort of thing. Don't be out there trying to change the world. I mean, good luck and all that and stuff. And there are people that have certainly made dents in history and stuff like that, and you got to give them credit for that. I'm not going to go back to the people that have inspired me. In fact, I haven't covered them enough. But I will say, I will add on that topic that I am everybody that came before me that I admire and respect. And I haven't said enough because I would love to mention in the same breath Jim Carrey and Steve Harvey? No. That's the guy that does that game on TV. He's all right as well, but I'm talking about the banjo player who did the movie The Jerk. I I watched that when I was younger, a lot younger, and he's hilarious. Whatever his name is, I'm sure it starts with Steve. I also love a little bit of Steve Carell as well. Anyway, I'm going off already. Way off, way out of where I was expecting to head so soon. I hope you're doing well. On that note, how's it going? I would love to talk about myself here, but I ask in all sincerity because we could possibly be doing the same good, or if not, maybe you could be doing better, that sort of thing. You know, I came up with a great line to use in every episode, and I'm not going to use it now. And on the same topic, I'm not being able to use the segments that I use on a regular basis because I keep saying how great they are, or how hot they are, or how relevant during this vlog they are. And right away, that just zaps my own personal douche button, and I'm smart enough to filter out any of the garbage immediately for as long as possible. So we won't necessarily be covering any segments, even though this week I certainly came up with a list of things to talk about. But we'll see how that goes. And we'll see how that goes, and maybe we will get into them depending on how desperate I am for content. Thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up, if you have, that is. And the most important topic I would love to talk about is engagement on social media, right? So I have a new subscriber, right? You are a human being, and if I'm actually talking to you, then, thank you first for tuning in, even, and then second for acknowledging the fact that I would possibly be, I saw a little comment. I should probably, while I'm trying to remain down to earth, and I know that's kind of an overused phrase, but while I'm trying to remain humble and whatnot, I would love to have remembered your name. Honestly, that would be cool. But I did see a comment, and I believe it was from my first subscriber / you, saying, like, keep going and doing things and stuff like that. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for any interaction whatsoever. I should probably give you a shout out. And now I'm starting to feel sincerely a little bit of, how do you say, not towing when you got the tugboat. But just as importantly, as you might have seen from last episode, when I didn't know I had new views yet, I talked about how one viewer, maybe this was possibly last episode, but it might have been the episode right before or the week before, that as soon as you get a view, you wonder if you really want any views at all. And I just mean that because, to try and maintain I'm showing you my armpits because I'm already a mess, and I don't know how I'm going to get out of this one, but you do want to remain balanced and intact and yourself throughout, throughout your daily interactions with strangers or even your online stuff, right? And so, as an example, but a good example, haven't we all? I have a little bit of PTSD from interacting online too much. And I've done plenty of paragraphs to random people, including strangers I've never met, but maybe have only talked to on the phone, where you'll get some early psycho. That's the I'm not accusing anybody of being emotionally unstable in recent times, but it only takes so little bit of surfing the online world and stuff before you run into, not to mention just looking at the YouTube comments, right? So we're all on the same page, but I've been, as of this week, in terms of what's new, and I thought of a new chime for whatever segment has come up. I've come up with, I've had this around for a while, and why not use it, at least for 1 week. What's new? It's supposed to sound like I'm turning a page, but it's a plastic egg full of beans or whatever. As of this week, you or I, but also probably you, because it happens all the time, have dealt with somebody somewhere in the world who you may know or may not know has come at you, and this has happened to me a second time, semi-recently, so in my recent memory, a second time now, and it could have been more than that, but I'm just getting fed up with it, where somebody tells you they've been hacked. It's like they're bugging you, but they've been hacked. But they're bothering you, but they've been hacked. So we built this. I'm not going to say what gender, but we built this World Wide Web thing, and you'll still get things that are impersonal, and we're going to make up a word if we have to, impersonal, and just sort of, oops, I accidentally put a drop of poop on your online wall or whatever, because I've been hacked. And how do you respond to that stuff? And the previous incident, the guy provided proof that he had been hacked. And it's like, do I really want to bother? Do I really care? Do I really want to mess around in this playground of so-and-so / new friend, possibly, or at least companion or something? Compadre is what I really wanted to say. Has been hacked, and I should deal with it, right? So it's like, how much somebody gives you like a blah, and then you're like, what do I do with this? And then they're like, oh, well, a certain amount of time later, I've been hacked. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to block you, but right? So it's not, I've had PTSD previous to that, and I don't mean that seriously. I'm only, I should probably be wearing a button-up shirt right now, but as a pretend psychiatrist, I'm only giving PTSD to war vets or something. And I don't even know, if you really get down to it with them, how much post-traumatic stress I don't even know what the D stands for. How much, credibility you give to anybody for that matter. But I imagine, well, what I'm getting at is for the longest of times we've been seeing people dead, maybe chopped up, maybe gored violently for the longest amount of time. We're a monkey. We are. So we're an evolved monkey, right? So I don't think that's really, how do you say, at this point, 2021, I don't think that's going out on a limb or anything like that. But, so how much PTSD do I give you for anything? But previous to, all that stuff, I've certainly been hit with, you know, drama online or whatever. And we navigate it however we wish to navigate it. And I guess all I'm getting at there is I have a foundation to stand on when it comes to isn't the most like you'd have to see my facial reaction if you're not looking. The most cringe inducing interaction online, the one where you get bothered for no reason, right? So that happened. That's in the news for me, or what's new for me. But anyway, having said all that, I really appreciate any and every subscriber. It only says that I'm here for a reason, that I possibly do have different perspective. I already passed my own audition on whether I should be doing this or not, so it's now come beyond that, and I'm very thankful to continue blabbering about the things that I'm sort of interested in or passionate about. And I thank you for viewing or listening, more like viewing at this point. But thank you sincerely, and I hope I can keep up the quality of entertainment. That's that. So what else is new? I mean, what's new with you? I only wish that, we can go back and forth at this juncture, right? But we all know that I'm just in my room chatting with the thing that's staring at me, round circular thing. But thank you anyway. Thanks sincerely. I'm sorry I didn't address it last week. It's just a lack of paying enough attention to what's going on my they call it YouTube Studio page or whatever. So you know what, and for now on I'm going to also be wearing at least more often, 2 shirts. I think it looks a lot more professional when a guy's wearing, it goes on the in the entertainment scene and is wearing a button down over a regular shirt. Only thing, except for all the views and attention I've been getting, the only thing I've really learned from all that. So I'm glad I'm talking about topics that are sort of pushing the envelope or at the front of the battle lines. But having said that, and the other thing, then, I mean, what am I to do? I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts right now. That's all I can say. All right, so it's time to possibly go to the notes, meaning I'd love to cover the new wild animal that has claimed the territory outside my building, but I want to make sure I covered everything else because I've written things down that I want to talk about this week. So we'll go to the notes. Going to the notes. And that didn't sound like a page turning as well. I'll get better at it. Hopefully you could even hear it, right? Because I got the mic right here, and I'm trying to get the shaker involved. But before we go to what sounds like a kookaburra right outside my window, let me check the notes. What happened? What happened? Did I write anything that I didn't cover yet? Let's go. No, no. So it's time to talk about the new wild animal that thinks that they belong in this tree, which is disturbing to many a resident that lives in my area. What? What? What's going on? Okay, so one lone mockingbird, and I know it's a mockingbird because I looked at it. I tried to, you search online to try and find out what kind of sounds you're hearing and stuff, and it could be a vacuum cleaner, it could be a drum kit, more on that later. It could be a car alarm. It could be a regular cute little bird singing for a mate. But it sounds like a plethora, variety of different random sounds. I've seen many a documentary, and maybe you have, where it could be a chainsaw. This bird wants to vocalize every sound it ever heard in the entire existence that it lived on this earth. And you look at mockingbird, it's a freaking plain ass species. I mean, so I'm trying to sleep, and if it's past 11:30 or whatever, this bird flies in, and he's like 100 yards away from my window, could be even more than that, but it sounds like 25 feet or whatever. And I guess looking for a mate, whatever they do in bird world. But yeah, anyway, that's just what's new in the week for me. I mean, keeping me up. I don't know how you close your window and you're like, wow, it sounds like birds, but it also sounds like a jackhammer. It sounds like machinery outside as well. I thought about charging up my laser. Let me show you. I thought about because I got plenty of AAA batteries. Chucking in a couple. I can't believe that's 2 AAA batteries, and then trying to find this guy. The reason why I wouldn't is because you would never find the guy with your green laser unless I bought off of, the most popular selling website, radar looking ear headphones sort of thing. I could never find this plain ass species anyway, so there's no reason. My laser pointer is currently empty and will remain until, I don't know, I meet a cat that likes me or something like that. Unless raccoons react to it, really. But yeah, so that's pretty much all that's happened in terms of what's new this week. But I have a segment for the news. Last week, short episode, and sort of would love to keep this one on the short side. I'm grateful for all the how do you say, the bump into tension from last week and whatnot, or the week before at this point. But yeah, we'll see how long this one goes, right? But I think I'm pretty much covering everything here, and then we can get out of here. I know it seems so short, but it seems so short to me at least. But if you dare yourself to go online once a week and speak for an hour and a half, I'm just throwing that number out there, and we'll sit on that every week for the rest of your life. I mean, you're bound to just be stupid and boring. I meant to say boring first, but also just, unless I have other members in, behind the camera, in the, so I would love to keep them somewhere between 15 and 25 minutes. I don't think that more than that really, how much guy celebrity do you get from being a dude, right? So let's just be real, right? Just sort of trying to, provide the all the big, beats off one after the other. Okay, so you understand. So anyway, let's cover what's in the news. News segment. I mean, it's not, but that didn't sound like turning the page either. I would only have anything. Oh, and before we get to it, I remembered last week. This is also another segment. We're not going to do another chime or whatever those are called. That I talked about what my big purchase was, and I didn't actually get to. So if you're a nerd and you care about drums, and hopefully at some point I get enough popularity where I could possibly run into, or maybe good people that I respect that play drums that have BB as their initials would care. But also all you drummers out there that really cared, if you, I just want to share with you how little I knew about what I bought. Because last week I said my drum kit, the brand name or the name that I bought started with a 1, but it didn't start with a 1. TD1? No, it didn't even start with a 1. Upon further research, I've discovered that the drum kit that I bought it starts with a 4. So TD4, you already know the brand name, not going to repeat that. TD4KP. It doesn't matter. I planned on moving on quickly. I can't believe I got to the point where I felt like I had to mention that. But fun and loving it, and let's move on. What's in the news? So I wasn't sure how much I would have to say about this because it is currently happening, but why talk about the news unless it's something that we're all interested in? And I think much like the George Zimmerman trial, we have kind of another one in our midst during these times. Derek Chauvin. And I almost would like to just not have remembered the name of the Zimmerman guy, and I had to Google right before we started this episode who the first name of Chauvin was, just to remind myself. But we have that trial going on, and all I wanted to share is that I've previously said sort of a what happens if he predicts sort of segment. I've previously told members of the community that I think he's going to get 8 to 12 years. And that may or may not happen. It might not. He might just get community service. I don't know. I don't know what's going to go. I haven't really been keeping up with it much besides what I see on breaking news on the front page of Google. I never click the trending button. So Google seems to think there's too much wild, crazy, fake news out there or whatever, that they're going to give you they're going to give the space for mainstream networks to post their news on your front page. That's what Google / YouTube has decided to do. So beyond a click or two here and there, and I don't even like keeping up with the news if I'm not that interested. So YouTube or the news if I'm not that interested, right? Again, and taking this from last week, I'd rather not be watching so much internet media in general. That's just trying to stay cool, trying to stay, I don't know how you say, keep myself. Sort of feel like I'm screaming at the camera right now, but that's sort of my vibe. So anyway, so I've seen, okay, I haven't taken a hit of this cigarette in all this time. It's time, a momentary break of, and then, as far as I'm concerned, we've talked about everything, and then we'll get out of here. So doing this segment a little bit late, but a momentary pause for silence. Here we go. I have no updates on the trial. What I've seen seems to, how do you say, go along the lines of what I've been thinking is what's going to happen. I thought I told, again, members of the community, my community, that just means you go outside and you see people. And I remember one more thing I wanted to talk about, because anyway, what I told the people in my district is that you get a little back and forth, possibly healthy back and forth, depending on how much you really care about people soaking in your opinions. That he was very brave to do this during the Trump era, short-lived Trump era. And it's sort of like set off fireworks or whatever. Everybody's sitting at home because of the stay-at-home orders and getting pent-up energy. And this guy, and apparently he knew the guy. That's as much as I know. Get back to me if you want to call me stupid or ignorant or whatever. But apparently he knew the guy too, which brings a whole nother element. I wonder if they're going to cover all that in the trial and stuff. Maybe I should tune in. But yeah, I said back then that I would say 8 to 12 years. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he got 4 or 3 or even 2. The way things are in America and stuff like that. So don't call me stupid. Don't call me progressive or anything like that. Just, I made a prediction back then, and I'm going to have to stand by it. We'll see what happens. But more interestingly, possibly, I can't believe we got past February 14th without me talking about, what my love life. I mean, it's not that I wanted to cover it or it's any topic that anybody would want to cover. You're very much infringing on my privacy, and I am accusing you of doing so if you care to hear. But for at the risk of not entertaining you enough, I did get, so it's like, does this guy need to update us if he has, let's say, a stalker? That's kind of where I'm getting at. And then on top of that, and it's not that I really do or anything but helping somebody. Okay, so the guy who told me that there's only one person who said, hey, maybe you can do this or that, and inspired me to get up here on this platform, stage, I was going to say, and do a little bit of entertaining for the masses, or at least try. He is the same guy that I helped him get intimate attention. You know, I mean, how much do I really care about, uh, you know what I mean, right? In gossip and along those lines, how much do I really care about, confirming anything and sharing it with the general public? The point is, if you would care to know anything about my love life, I reciprocate the the kind gestures that are thrown my way or whatever back at you tenfold. That's all. I don't know that we have anything else to talk about, so let's scan the notes one more time. We're definitely not doing segments this week because I'm still sick of how much I touted how great they were. But we'll check, looking to my left here, if I've missed anything. That's it. That's it. Armpit check. You want to do that? That's the last one I got here, and I feel like I turned the fan on high because I closed the window for sound reasons, recording studio quality reasons. So I turned the fan on high for the first time this week. Oh man, guys, I'm gonna hate to leave you with all this alcohol out of my system. Anyway, here is a current update on how sweaty my armpits are. I really should have cared about this more because I know they're sweaty as fuck. But there's that. I'm not even looking. I know they're sweaty. I'm not even looking. I can't see what I'm showing. Well, I can kind of see that much. Wow. But I didn't show somebody earlier this week when I was talking about it, so I'm pretty comfortable sharing it with you. I don't know. That's just how it goes, right? How about we in a desperate attempt for new content or fresh content, because we went over everything that I wanted to talk about here. How about we try and before I go, I'll give you an honest attempt at trying to just come up with something. And that's what cigarettes are for. And that's what drinks are for. Is a moment to think about your next this or that. As you can see, I need 2 moments. I don't really have anything except the BB I mentioned earlier. I could tell you that I was talking about a famous podcaster who also likes to play the drums. I don't know. What else? We should practically have a segment where I just chill and ST the FU for a second. But I like to keep it energetic. I noticed the last time that I ever did a episode where I chilled out a little too much was enough for me, and I don't need to do that anymore. I plan on bringing you youthful energy that'll sort of like a battery that I can pass along to you, and then we could say goodbye, shut the F up, and have a great week, and good luck in your ventures and stuff like that. bought a pack of cigarettes this week, but I actually plan on talking. It's a honest attempt at finalizing the deal I have with people on the streets that I run into to give them their cigarettes back, which they don't necessarily want me to give them, and pay my dues per se, and then be done with it. I mean, you could smoke cigarettes or you can chew gum. You could more easily smoke cigarettes on a podcast. I understand that. Excuse me, a burp is coming up, right? But nonetheless, I don't like unhealthy habits. As you could see, it's sort of a theme in our little vlog here. I hope you're not paying too much attention to me, checking my every micro expression. Maybe before we do that, I can update you on how terrible my Spanish was, but I don't even want to do that. We could talk about micro this and micro that. The new language that is forced upon all of us in this day and age. You don't have to go with it. You're the older generation. If you are the older generation, what words are we going to accept as, because I've been hearing gaslighting a lot. I still don't even know what that means. Making the other person feel as if it's sort of a, what is it, like sort of making them feel as if they should be doing something else or other. I don't really know what the definition of the word is. I've looked it up before because somebody has accused me of gaslighting them, and you know how I handle that. What is gaslighting? I don't know what that word means, and I'll just wait for them or not to explain it back to me so that I can, rally up a defense and tell them, quite was my intention when I said what they're accusing me of is gaslighting. But so anyway, we gotta pick a few words because a lot of words are coming at us, new terms and stuff. We don't say transsexual or whatever anymore as much as we say transgender, things like that. I don't know the difference. I didn't mind the dude that was the protagonist in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Do you? I'll leave us with that. It's been fun. Thanks for checking it out. I appreciate any interactions and all the interactions I've had so far. I'm not paying attention. So, love you back. I'm so grateful. I mean, we're a few episodes in at this point, and I'm excited to, try and make something of something. So, beyond want and not want, I'm actually excited to, feel like I'm getting anywhere with anything, with something, I mean. So, thank you. We'll chug this and then we'll say goodbye. How about that? Again, editing stuff drunk. But I go to work tomorrow. And oh yeah, I didn't even mention, right? So, how are you doing? How am I doing? I'm only doing as well as I'm working. That's really it. I don't care about art. Art is secondary. Any pursuit of art is secondary to getting into the grind of things and grinding it out. So I did a bit of work this week. I'm in a good mood. This podcast has been, or show or vlog, has been presented to you in a good mood because I'm overworked. I overworked today is all I mean. I should have overworked yesterday because I didn't. I overworked today, and hopefully that doesn't shine, or you can't see that displayed in this one. But if you're gonna really want to know how I'm doing, you want to know, in my opinion, how hard I've been working recently. Oh my gosh, it's been a while. Let's get out of here. I'm seeing 45 minutes or something like that. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. We talked about everything. Let's get out of here. Thanks for tuning in, checking it out. Love you back. And any neutral, I would love interaction in general, but any neutral comments or statements, I want to hear those. I want to hear those. I like it. I love it. It's building blocks for an actual back and forth. So it doesn't mean that I'll necessarily punch you back or get back at you, but it means this is real. This is real. That's, you have to know that I know, and that I know you know that neutral is where it's at. All right, guys. Love ya. Love ya. All right, guy and guys. Love ya. Keep it up. Keep up the good attitude. Thanks for checking it out. And till next week. Cheers.